Okay, good morning, everyone. It's Bob Sagar. I just wanted to, happy Tuesday, by the way. I wanted to spend just a few minutes, a little bit, give you some tips on utilizing your Ringless voice mail drop software. And I've got a couple other things I want to share with you as well. So stay with me. I know it'll be worth it. Hopefully you get some value out of this and increase your sales, your listings, your commissions, and so on. And my little tip at the end, I think, is really, really valuable. So first, I think one of the things that most salespeople are not marketers. And I don't mean that. I mean that in a very polite, very soft way. They're just not. Salespeople, I'm a sales professional. I've molded my craft for years, and I get that. I understand that. But it took me quite some time to learn really the art of marketing. And I did that over the years and built a very, very successful financial practice that just hummed. So I want to share with you some things that I think are critical in utilizing Ringless voicemail to enhance your listings, your lead flow, your listing flow, all that good stuff. And I think the first thing is we need to understand the importance of consistency. You know, I hear a lot of realtors when I speak to them every day. Well, I get those that did it, they get tremendous results out of the gate, which is great. I get those that, well, I didn't get anything. Okay. So a good marketer knows that they test and then they split test. And they also know that consistency is very, very critical. So one of my big suggestions to all of the realtors that I work with every day and I speak to is being consistent in your marketing. So when it comes to Ringless voicemail, my suggestion is let's say you've got a plan to drop 2,500 drops a week. That's not a lot, but being consistent. So let's presuppose in your software, in your portal, you've got 4 zip codes, right? They're each under your list category. You've got 11570, 11580, 11697, 11723, whatever it is. And this first week, you send 2,500 to this one. Second week, 2,500 to this one. Third week, 2,500 to this one. Fourth week, 2,500 to this one. Excuse me, I got a little allergies. The fifth week, when you come back here, you're going to send 2,500, but what you don't do is use the same message. You're going to change your message, right? And then the next week, the second message here, second message here, second message here, and then come back a third message, and then come back a fourth message, consistently, constantly changing. I use an analogy of the Super Bowl all the time, and we can guarantee that Budweiser is not going to use the same commercial that they did last year, the year before that, and the year before that. They change it up to get better, and they test, and they test, and they test. This is no different. This week for me, I'm sending out script number 4. Last week, I sent out 50,000 drops. The results were incredible, right? This week, and that was script number 3. This week, I'm sending out script number 4. The result, it's just Tuesday now. I sent out some yesterday. Tuesday, they were okay, but it ramps up for me on Wednesday, Thursday, and so on. So the consistency factor is very important, number 1. Number 2, changing the message is critical, is very critical. And if you need help with messages, reach out to me. I also mentioned that you can go to a site called Fiverr, Fiverr. And that is an online freelancing platform where you could hire people. You could hire people to write your sales copy, really good pros, for $5, maybe $10, max $15. So learning how to be resourceful, as Tony Robbins says, is critical. If you don't know how to do it, get someone to do it, right? It doesn't matter if you don't know how, but being resourceful is the key. Now, not finally on this little part here. Next is in your software, you've got a section called OptiTrack. If you remember that, right? OptiTrack. And OptiTrack, let me see if I can share my screen here. Stay with me a second, right? I want to show it to you. Stay with me. So here's OptiTrack, right? When you click on OptiTrack, I've got so many different numbers here, right? So if I go to this number here, this 201 number where I use realtor number script, and I click on the details, watch what happens. And I've showed this to you before, but I just want to drive a point home what you could do with this and the power behind it. So I use this number, and along the way, there have been, look in the lower right, lower left here, 4,283 people called back this number and didn't leave a message. There are those that leave messages, but there are people that will just call back and listen to the number. The duration is how many seconds they listen. So if I just keep clicking next, right? Who listened for 260 seconds, 50 seconds? Keep going, 260 seconds, 259 seconds, 235 seconds, right? 70 seconds, 125 seconds. Look at this. I'm not concerned about the one for 2 seconds or even 61 seconds. I'm not concerned about any of these here. I don't care. My message is 90 seconds, right? I don't care about these. I care about that 260. I care about that 259. I care about that 259. I care about that 259, that 259. They went to the end. They just kept listening over and over. 120 I like. 88 I like. So 81 I like. So what I do then is I upload it to a CSV file, cancel out all the ones that were less than 70 seconds, and then I could upload it, and then I could upload them to a texting platform. Now, we don't have anything to do with a texting platform, but I use a texting platform, and I could choose now to send them a text message. You could choose to send the homeowner a text message. Many different portals. I always remember years ago I was taught, always ask your end-line customer or consumer, how do you prefer or how would you like to receive the information? Would you like me to mail you something? Would you like me to email you something? Would you like me to send you something to listen to? Everybody uses different different methodologies on how to gather information. So some people might like listening to the Ringless voice drops. Others might like reading it on their phone, whatever the case may be. But it's just that little piece there is so, so critical. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps in giving you some tips that what you have in your hands is an extremely powerful marketing tool. Now, let me kind of put this together here. Should it be your only marketing tool? No, not one bit. It should be in addition to. I always remember when I ran my financial firm, I had 3 to 5 different marketing strategies at any time. This is an addition to everything else that you're using. So if you're making 200, 300, 400, 500, how do we get you, as you've heard me say before, to break through that ceiling of complexity to the next level of income? How do we get you there, right? This is a marketing tool that is relatively inexpensive, but the ROI is very, very high if you use it correctly and use it in a very strategic manner, okay? All right, now, I want to get into something else for a second. In all my days in speaking to realtors and listening to you and so on and so forth, I listen. And I want to share a story with you that hopefully I think can help you out tremendously. When I entered into the insurance and financial world, December 1992, 1993, our oldest son, Xavier, was born, May 1993. And my wife at the time, Geraldine, was working for a designer in the city. And she didn't want to leave at that time, whatever the case may be. And my mom and my mother-in-law babysat Xavier Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We didn't have anybody for Friday. Now, I was new to the insurance world, the financial world, right? And I said, I'll watch my son. I'll watch him. And I took off on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, took off. And that first year, for all intent and purposes, that first year, and I'm not bragging here, there's a story here. And that first year, I ranked #1 out of 1,500 new people that joined that company 3 years in a row. And then in 1996, I joined a coaching program in Canada that I went for a day every 90 days called the Strategic Coach. You might want to look it up. Dan was my coach. And one of the things Dan said that I'll never forget, and I use these teachings and hopefully I can share them with you along our journey together. One of the things Dan really drilled into us, and this was a high level coaching program, a lot of realtors, a lot of financial people, you had to make a certain amount of money, blah, 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 really high level. It was awesome. Went for a day every 90 days. I loved it. Probably the best training in my life. And one of the things he drilled into our brains was this: take a lot of free time. Take a lot of free time. And I bought into that and I said, oh, I started taking Fridays off. Wow, I did something that I didn't realize what I was doing, but it worked. And Dan proved it. And at the height of my business, I was only working 3.5 days a week, making a ton of money. So I live my life by 3 days, 3 types of days. You might want to write this down, because when I speak to realtors, I got to run, I got to run, I got to run, I got to listen here, I got to listen here, I got to listen here. And what that tells me is that the marketplace is dictating to you how to run your business, which I believe in my heart, you should run your business, not the marketplace. And I know that this is radical. This is very radical. A lot of the people in the class could not adopt to this. Those that did, my income in 1996 when I joined was $169,000. It 10 times itself over a period of time. This is powerful stuff. So I live my life by 3 types of days. #1, free days. This is critical. Free days. What does free mean? Free in Greek means to make young again, to rejuvenate. Now, here's what a free day is. Midnight to midnight. You're free. You do the things you love. No interaction with your cell phone with work. No reading about work. Nothing. I had employees that knew never to call Bob on a free day. Never, ever, ever. I had an employee that kept calling me on a free day. She was gone. My free day, my free days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I could not wait to come back to work. I was rejuvenated. I was excited. I could not wait. And I was ready to go. I was recharged. And when we went on vacation, I would see my neighbors that we would go on vacation. We would be in the Bahamas at the Atlantis, right? And they would be on their phone with work. They're not free. They're just connected again. They're just connected in a beautiful place. Free is free. Now, that's a free day. A focus day. Focus. 80% of my focus days are geared towards bringing in revenue. That is it. 80% of my focus day is bringing in revenue. My focus days are Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursday. It's game day, Super Bowl day. And then lastly, a buffer day. What is a buffer day? Well, a buffer day prepares me for my free days and my focus days. So my buffer days are Mondays, right? For years, my buffer days, I'd go into my office. My office was here in Rockville Center. I'd go in at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'd have a staff meeting. I'd delegate this, delegate that. I was out of there by 12. Done. They don't need me anymore. I delegated. I delegated everything except genius. If I wasn't in front of a client, if I wasn't doing a lecture, what else do they need me for? They know what to do. I hired people because of their unique ability. I built a unique ability machine. So when you think about football, right? Giants, I'm a Giant fan. They play on Sunday. What is that? That's their focus day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are probably rest or free days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday are their buffer days to prepare them for their focus and their free days. It's a very, very powerful, you want to call time management, I don't care what you call it, but label your days. And I know because I've lived this since 1996 for 23 years, and it works extremely, extremely well. When I'm free, don't call me. I won't pick up the phone. Don't call me. But when I'm on, I'm on. And it's game day for me. It's game day. It's a very, very powerful, powerful structure, little radical to get used to. But I will tell you, if you adapt to that, if you adapt to that, it will change your business. And I'll recommend a book. And in fact, stay there. I want to show it to you. Oh, stay with me. I think I showed it in one of my last ones. It was this. It's this book. This is by Dan. It's very inexpensive. It's called How the Best Get Better. And in there it talks about free days and other things. And I'm going to keep sharing with you stuff because I'm very passionate about this and I want you to grow, because I know the real estate industry, your industry, is going through some turmoil. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if Amazon's going to come and all of a sudden Jeff's going to open up the largest real estate office in the world, right? You don't know when the next discounted agency is going to come, Purple Bricks and all the rest and everything, all that stuff. And I get it. I've seen it. I come from a highly regulated industry. So I hope that helps. I hope it helps from a marketing standpoint with your software. I hope my little story maybe gave you some clarity or maybe struck a chord. I know when I first, I was fortunate that when I first heard this, is wow, I was taking off Fridays. It does work. I'm going to do more, right? And anytime I could be free, I wanted to be free. But when I knew I had to work, I was on. It was game day for me. And you can do the same and not let the marketplace dictate to when you have to run to go see them. You control your time, nobody else. I hope that helps. Let's stay in touch with one another. I will help you. We will help you any way we can. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.